Hey guys, it's Trippy, welcome to the video. Today's video is going to be different from the norm because it's going to be more of a review or like first impressions kind of video of a place we visited, which is Bodmin Jail. And if you guys don't know, Bodmin Jail recently had a refurbishment which is still ongoing. I think they still have to make the hotel and the bar, but for the most part the main attraction, which is where we visited, is complete. So we wanted to go there and film, but unfortunately only certain areas you're allowed to film. But I did get a few sneaky shots, but one, I don't want to get in trouble with the jail, and two, I don't want to ruin the surprise for you guys because there's a lot of things we weren't expecting which are really good, and I wouldn't want to ruin that for people who haven't been yet. So with that said, what's being shown on screen may not match what I'm talking about, just because I don't want to ruin the surprises for you guys, and I also don't want to get myself in trouble. But obviously I have to make a video somehow, so I'd rather have something kind of related like Bodmin more, rather than just a black screen and me yappering away, so yeah. So with all that said, I'll crack on with the actual video, and I'll start with pricing and parking. Myself and Connor paid £15 per person to get in. I believe it's advertised as about an hour and a half for the actual like walk around tour, but we were probably out within about 45 minutes, I'd say, and we weren't exactly rushing either. And as for parking, there's about, I'd say, 8 parking spaces outside. I noticed they did have a sign for overflow parking which wasn't laid out, so we had to actually park down the road, and as you'll see from the start of the video, it was absolutely chucking down with rain, so it wasn't ideal. So yeah, be aware that the parking might be limited and you might have to pay extra for parking down the road. It's not too far of a walk, but when the weather's grim, it's not great to start your day off soaking wet when you're going indoors. So on to the main attraction. You can tell a lot of time, money and effort has gone into making this as good as they possibly could get it. They do a good job of like immersing you in the experience, that you feel like you're in the mine or you feel like you're on the moor. I can't spoil anything just because I want you to feel it for yourself, but what they do to immerse you is very well done. I would say be warned if you're bringing children, because obviously it's a jail and people who are in jail for reasons like murder and rape, that is spoken about briefly. And there were, like, when me and Connor went, there was a couple of kids there who are probably no lot more than like 6 years old, and I did look across like, bloody hell, should they be listening to this? But I guess their parents know what's best, but just be aware. You're going into a jail, and the history of the jail is grim crime, so just heads up on that one. I will say though, I do miss the old sort of haunted feeling. I've been, I believe twice in the past before the refurbishment, and you'd go into sort of dark, dank rooms with mannequins there, and they'd be set up in a way that like one of them was being like hung or like tortured or whatever, and it was quite a scary experience, and obviously it was meant to be like that, but you kind of felt the haunted, ghostly vibe, whereas now, because it's all modern and there's projectors and everything, it's still a very good experience and I would recommend doing it, but they've kind of lost the creepy old jail vibe, which maybe that's what they wanted to do to get more visitors in and make, like, sort of drag the jail into the modern age. Whether the hotel would be like that or not, I don't know, because the hotel and the bar, they're still doing up, so we didn't get a chance to see that. So that's another thing to be aware of. You're paying £15 or whatever it is, but you're not going to be able to get food or anything afterwards, at the moment at least anyway. Maybe if you go in 6 months time it'll be finished, but just be aware that you're not paying for the full experience yet. And as I mentioned, me and Connor paid for like the base level entry ticket. They do offer ghost walks still, which they've done in the past, which could be starting at like, I think it's 9 PM and finishing at 2 AM or something like that, or starting at midnight. I don't know how well that would work if it's in the same place where we did the tour, because of how modern they've made it. It's in some places it's like a movie set. They've got like rocks and all laid out, or like an old mine cart. So when we're being shown all this fake stuff, I can't imagine I'd feel scared of someone saying, "Oh, what was that noise?" Because I just think, "Oh, that's clearly a speaker or like a sound effect to scare us." So hopefully the ghost walks at night are in a different area, but because I didn't do it, I couldn't comment on it. So my honest opinion of it is it's definitely worth the money. I think they peak a little bit too soon though, because when you first go in, you're sort of blown away and like with the wow factor. And I mentioned projectors earlier on. They'll project like a warden's face onto the wall to welcome you, and he sort of guides you through. But then towards the end, it peters off a little bit, where you're left to your own devices to walk around a little bit. And I think around that section you could do with something just to keep your attention and keep you going. And then at the end there's more surprises as well, but just in the middle section of the tour, even though there's no tour guide, it's, for me, I was just like, it's okay, I guess. My initial excitement wore off quite quickly, and then towards the end it was like, oh okay, yeah, that was good, I enjoyed it. So I have to pick my words carefully so I'm not spoiling anything, but yeah, well worth going. I just wish there was a bit more content towards the middle of the tour is all. But I think to really get the Bodmin Jail experience, you'd have to stay in the hotel. Obviously it's not ready yet, but I think for me how I'd do it was I'd go later in the evening for the tour that we've just done, because it talks about Bodmin's history as well, like the Beast of Bodmin Moor, a little bit about mining, which is stuff I didn't expect to hear about in the jail. It was interesting, just a bit like, oh okay, we're learning about this as well. But then after we've done the evening tour, then stop at the tavern I should say, and have some food and drink, then do the ghost walk, and then spend a night in the hotel, because I think that would really have you on the edge if you've sort of all day your brain's been sort of processing ghosts and jails and spooky stuff. I can't imagine I'd get a good night's sleep, but it'd be exciting, if you know what I mean, as well as terrifying. So I think if I was to go back in the future, that's how I'd do it. But if you want to go with your kids in the day, it's worth doing, but I'd say just be a little bit aware of the content, because I think if I went as like a 10-year-old or a 6-year-old, I'd probably I'd probably be in a bad shape for about a week, having nightmares and stuff. So yeah, definitely well worth doing. Sorry again about the actual video that I've been showing, because I was recording by hand, so it's quite shaky footage I think, as well as being dark, so I apologise. It's not like my normal videos where I'm probably able to show everything, but as I explained at the start, I don't want to get myself in trouble or ruin it for you guys. So yeah, bit of a different video today, but hopefully you guys have enjoyed it regardless. Videos might be slowing down a little bit just because of the weather. Sue, one of the people who watches my videos, she recommended we went to St Maur's Castle, which we went to last weekend, but because of the weather, well, I assume it's because of the weather, the bottom and top levels of the castle were closed off, so you paid to get in, literally do a walk around the garden, and then you're back out again. It's like, oh, is that it? So thank you anyway for the suggestion, Sue. It was a really good castle. It's just unfortunately because of the weather, we weren't able to record much, and I couldn't fly the drone, so if we keep on having windy, stormy weather, it might limit me to how often I can upload, but I'll still do my best to get videos out. And yeah, other than that, I think that's about it, guys. So hopefully you enjoyed this slightly different video. Be keen to know in the comments as always what you guys think. And yeah, stay safe, and I'll catch you on the next one.